What's up, everyone? It's your favorite IT guy. It's Wayne. So basically what I have here is a brand new system powered by the AMD Ryzen platform. We have an Asus Prime B350 Plus motherboard in it. We're running a brand new G-Skill. It's a DDR4 2400. This is a 16 gigabyte kit. I have two of these, so we have all memory slots populated for 32 gigabytes, double data rate memory. So with the Ryzen platform, and this seems to be something, anything faster than 2400 isn't going to work if you're trying to run 32 gigs. None of the kits right now are 32 gigs for this platform. This is a Fractal Design, I think, R5 case. Pretty nice case. It's actually a lot bigger than what I thought it was going to be. We got a little CD-ROM drive in here just in case. This isn't my machine. This is being built for a client, and then we'll try that again. I've been having some issues with this setup so far. I'm thinking it has to do something with the motherboard. Basically, Windows will not detect the onboard sound device. It detects something, but it doesn't detect what is in. It doesn't detect the Realtek device. Apparently, this motherboard has. That's kind of cool that the OEM cooler has a LED light ring on it, and it has this thing right here, and the motherboard actually has a little jumper for you to plug the LED plug-in thingy or whatever to it. Sorry, I'm not being all technical. And the motherboard itself actually has like RGB elements integrated into it, so it has like LED paths built into the PCB that pulses. That's really cool. And also on the slots here, it's pretty neat. So I actually pulled 2 sticks of RAM from this yesterday because I was having random BSODs. I don't understand what was causing the BSODs, and so that's basically another thing that I'm trying to troubleshoot. A lot of people say that it's the BIOSes that's available for this platform right now. Other people have been saying, a lot of other people have been saying that Microsoft Windows itself has a problem with automated systems and the way that the cores on this processor work. I am Cortana, settings were updated, blah blah blah. This is a fresh copy of Windows 64 Pro on the machine. As you can see here, this is exactly what I'm talking about. The onboard sound device is not detected, and that's basically my challenge at the moment with this machine. I have HDMI devices from the NVIDIA graphics card that's built in the machine. No audio devices installed here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this spare motherboard that I accidentally ordered, because on Newegg, when you get a combo deal with a processor and a motherboard, the motherboard doesn't show in your cart. The processor just shows up as $400 instead of the $350 I bought it for, and so I, like an idiot, accidentally bought an extra motherboard. This may be the saving grace here if this actually works. If I pull this motherboard out, or I put this one in, and I actually get the sound device to show up, and it possibly might fix my sound problems, I'm just gonna fucking return this motherboard, and that's going to be it for me with Ryzen until this technology is more standard. I was really excited for AMD with this technology, but again, I feel that the motherboards are severely lacking right now, and the fact that all the BIOSes are having issues supporting this stuff, it's really irresponsible for the board makers. It's unfortunate for the enthusiasts like myself who want to get their hands on this and don't want to run Linux. I want to build this out for like people. I want to say that, hey, AMD is back. AMD is a viable option for people to use in home computing, video games, whatever it is you want to do, video editing. For me to have this many problems with a Windows machine I just put together with brand new hardware is very discouraging and rather unfortunate. So yeah, man, I'm gonna swap this Mobo real quick, and then I'm gonna fire this back up, and if it doesn't detect the audio device, I'm just gonna buy a motherboard from a different manufacturer. Also, another thing, while I'm recording, this motherboard, it might be a little bit hard to see in here. I can't really adjust the lighting on this guy. Right here at the edges of the motherboard, you won't be able to see it, but the pegs, there's nowhere to screw the motherboard down on the ends here, and because the motherboard is live and on, I don't want to press on it, but basically this whole motherboard flexes. Like when you're putting the RAM in, there's nothing on this edge right here to protect the motherboard from me putting pressure on it, which is a pretty big fucking concern as far as I'm concerned, and building computers, I don't think that's a good idea. I'm gonna install the pegs under the motherboard just in case for support. The fact that they may interfere with the back of the PCB also is a big fear of mine, because you don't want to press the motherboard down and have it make contact with the ground where it's not supposed to be making a ground. That's probably why they didn't put holes there. So it's a catch-22. You could risk frying the motherboard pressing it down on something it's not supposed to press down on, but I could be wrong. It could be a complete paranoia, but that is a thing. You don't want to ground a live active connection on this that is sending, energy through some other component if it wasn't meant to be grounded. The same way that idiots try and drill through PCBs to make them fit in motherboards or cases or whatever the fuck that they're not supposed to fit in. When people do dumb shit like that and ruin graphics cards or motherboards, there's a reason why. This thing has multiple layers to it. It's not just the surface layer with all the cool little lines and stuff. And there's a whole lot more going on with these things. They're multi-layered and all that stuff. So I don't know if it's a good idea to put those stands in or not. But we're gonna do it. We're gonna give it a try, and if not, we're just gonna RMA these motherboards. So here we go. Motherboard install number 2, and hopefully we get our onboard audio device working, and hopefully this calms the machine from its blue screen issues. No blue screens. Everything works as intended. But again, I've been having like major problemums with this Windows operating system and this the processor on my test bench. Basically just random blue screens. None of the errors are consistent with the blue screen. It's always, you know, this process failed, secure idle process failed, Windows sys failed, and it just like there's the Windows articles doesn't say like, hey, this paging file in this instance in this area failed. This is probably what you want to check on. It's just like, hey, this random Windows process failed. Something probably caused it. We don't know what. Tried these things, and it's not getting me anywhere to fix the problem. So again, constant reboots. Still no onboard, you know, sound device here, and that's a huge thing. Even though that again, this isn't being used for media production. This audio jack right here doesn't work. Doesn't detect anything being plugged into it. Audio jack in the back of the computer doesn't detect anything being plugged into it. So yeah, just gonna swap Mobos and hope for the best. Alright, so this is ASUS Prime B50 B350 Plus motherboard 2 fingers. We're gonna go ahead and power it up. I'm not gonna do a BIOS update starting off, so motherboard's lighting up. That's a good sign. Let's fire it up. See if it posts. This is the boot up sequence. You get the AMD light right here, which is kind of nice, and then you get this red ring, so that normally will start to tell you that it's doing its post checkup. And I repopulated all of the RAM slots. I also added all the motherboard standoffs on the side, which I said I was gonna do. So yeah, again, it's just doing its post thing. We got another red ring, so that normally means that we're gonna get a BIOS screen in a second. Alright, new CPU installed. Press F1 to configure your system. Let's do the setup. I think the BIOS is really cool. One thing I noticed when I set up the other motherboard is that when I was in this BIOS screen, I didn't even get into Windows yet. This BIOS screen, about 10 minutes after just sitting here, this little animation in the background froze, and I don't know if that was like an indicator like, hey, the computer fucking stopped running. But okay, we got motherboard temperature 22, we got 35C on the processor. Hottest I've seen it get is like about 45. And again, I'm not even fucking with overclocking right now, much less ever. We got our M2, got the optics. I don't really think that I did anything fancy in the BIOS before. You can do an advanced mode. They have a pretty robust BIOS system here. You can go in here and do the tweaker stuff, fuck with all your little settings and all that stuff. Apparently there's a lot more options for AMD processors. I don't want nothing to do with that. Onboard devices, front panel type, HD audio. That's what we want. I don't have anything in the SPDIF area, LED lighting. It's basically breathing mode or it's still mode, just to have it on, or you can just turn the fucking lights off if you want. Fan RGB, same thing. You can enable, disable them. And PCI switch. All that's Gucci. Again, all this stuff you don't really have to fuck with it. Serial port. I don't understand why this thing has a serial port. That's probably a Linux thing. I don't know. I'm not lead enough. Let's just do an F10, save and reset. Let's see if it boots into Windows, but let's see if it actually detects the onboard sound device. That's really all I care about. Oh, look at a back shot of the motherboard. This is the cable management in this fractal design case. I have to say is pretty spiffy, even though this cable came loose. That's because I was moving the case. But other than that, this is all pretty nice stuff. We got the HD audio cable snaking its way over there to the motherboard. We have the extra cable slack from the LED lighting array or whatever. Just chilling right there, and here we go. Windows. All right, that's stuck, so I'll just let it sit. I'll let it marinate. I have high hopes. Maybe my hopes are way too high. Is this the first lockup? AMD, please just boot up. And like I said, I had a bunch of problems initially installing Windows on this platform. It told me it wasn't compatible with the fucking hardware. Something wasn't initializing. Media blue screens. But there you have it right there. That's the first lockup that I have officially documented. It's not responding to anything. We got num lock, caps lock. We'll do a Control-Alt-Delete, see if it responds to that. No, so the system is officially frozen. We'll reset it again. We'll check to make sure that it's the temps are cool in the BIOS. But that's basically what I've been dealing with. Just another hard lockup. So far we can't even boot into Windows with the second motherboard. We'll reset again. So what I'm gonna do at this point is I'm gonna go into the BIOS. I'm gonna start disabling shit, because that's normally what I would do in this case. I don't think any of the memory is bad, because I pulled some of the memory and I ran the machine with only 2 slots filled. This is just a hardware initialization issue that this thing has. So we're back in the BIOS. As you can see, the processor is up to speed or temp. It was at 42 and now it's dropping to about 39. Let's see, why is this shit tripping? Make sure that we don't have any discs in here. Okay, no discs. What do you guys think is causing this shit to lock up? BIOS version 406/64. So let's dude, oh, okay, there we go. First freeze up in the BIOS. BIOS is frozen now. At this particular point, because I'm already having immediate problems with a new motherboard, I'm not even chalking it up to the RAM. Not even chalking it up to the RAM. This is 100% the fault of the motherboard or the processor. And again, just random things are taking a shit in Windows that shouldn't be taking a shit in Windows. Preparing automatic repair of Windows. Okay, this should be a good one. Diagnosing the PC. Okay, well, we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. Let's see if it locks up. All right, automatic repair. Let's restart your PC service sometimes. Blah 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 blah. Okay, yeah, let's restart it. If this doesn't work, I'll stick the Windows key in here, and then we'll try and repair the operating system by reinstalling it. I haven't really committed to any kind of hardware or software setups in the Windows environment, so I'm completely okay with just wiping the hard drive completely. But like I said, I'm having problems at the BIOS level with this machine. Yeah, locked up again. Can't get it to boot. So now what I'm gonna do, just to prove my theory, is I'm gonna start pulling RAM, because that's normally the first thing I would do if I was building a machine, is just to pull RAM. So now that we have our machine, I'm gonna kill power to it. Not completely necessary, but I like to do it anyways. And I'm just gonna pull all the RAM. It's really hard to differentiate the color because there's no light, but in a nutshell, there's 2 gray ports for memory. This one and this one. These are your primary RAM slots on this motherboard. This guy right here and this guy right here. And then when you add secondary, those are the secondary channels. And that's with this motherboard. Probably not specific to all of them. So we have 1 stick of RAM in there. We're gonna fire it back up, and we're gonna see if it boots into Windows with 8 gigs of RAM. In search of incredible. I'm just in search of fucking Windows, Asus. I don't want to do automatic repair. Let's just reinstall Windows. Let's do advanced options. Let's remove everything. Let's just get it all out of here. Just see what happens. Already, make sure that your PC is plugged in. Resetting will move all the personal files and user accounts, any apps and programs, any changes made to the settings. Okay, reset. Let's see if Windows boots. Because this was initially the problem that I had with the machine when I first went to go image it with Windows 10 64-bit, is that it told me it couldn't install Windows. And again, I really think the BIOS freezing up had a lot to do with it. They say that a BIOS update can help the motherboard. This RAM that I bought specifically was certified and tested by G.Skill. They swear by their products. I swear by G.Skill. Even if some of the RAM was bad, I could RMA it, no problem with your G.Skill. They'll be like, hey, we got the shipping. We'll send you out new RAM before the shit even gets back to us. I had 1 stick of memory go bad in my 32 gig kit at home, and I had to take all the memory out, send it off to them, and they sent it back to me not even 2 days later after I told them that I had a problem. So if the RAM is the problem, we'll get to the bottom of it. Seriously doubt it. They've been saying there has been some dud Ryzen processors out there, but again, you shouldn't be able to get this far. And then they said some old bullshit about the Windows environment not being able to handle the or Windows automated events can't handle all the different processors or whatever the fuck of the Ryzen really doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So just more troubleshooting, and we'll check back on this. I've got Windows to boot. We had to do a repair of the system. For some reason, oh my god, the fucking sound device is here. Oh my god, the motherboard is a dud. Oh my god, this is excellent. Now just shove all the other pieces of RAM back in and see if, this is orgasmic. Okay. We're gonna shove the RAM in 1 stick at a time. I'm pumped. And while I'm working on that, I'm working on the free iMac that I got at work. I just pulled the outer screen off, and I'm gonna unscrew the. I'm gonna need a certain type of thing to unscrew those. Yeah, I'm gonna need a torque set to get that loose. Then I'm gonna work on this iMac. This will be my video editing machine at work. They say that the video card's going bad in it. I just want to take apart the guts, make sure that this thing's not packed with dust. Seems to be a common thing around here at the office. 1320726.
Just give me 1 minute. Let me generate the confirmation ID for you. Okay, you can write down the confirmation ID.
Just another view from Candyland. So right now, currently running BIOS update to version 5.03. Motherboard came with version 4.02 on it. This is supposed to help system stability. Another thing is, in the BIOS, I have DDR4 2400 speed memory in this machine. However, I have it set to run specifically at 2133 hertz, or giz, or gigahertz, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, with the 4 memory slots occupied. Most high-speed memory will run at 2400 anyways, and I've experienced some stability issues with the machine booting into Windows if it's set to auto, if it's trying to figure out on its own what the memory speed's at. And I figure 2100 still fast as shit. Again, the machine's being used for CAD. I need the memory capacity. I have to have a minimum of 20 gigs of RAM, so 32 gigabytes is necessary for this build. That's the workaround that I have for the time being. So far, no random blue screens. A few times it locked up trying to load Windows, not a big deal. Biggest issue I had with the machine so far, which was shown earlier, is when trying to activate Windows, because I swapped the motherboard, it invalidated the key for Windows that I purchased, and they gave me a completely new key. And because I'm behind a corporate firewall, I had to do like this whole rinky-dink thing, giving them fucking Morse code numbers to get another Morse code number back, which I wrote down somewhere. I don't even know what I did with the notepad. This is basically my Windows key right here, that only will work on this particular hardware setup, and hopefully I'll never have to replace another motherboard again. And that's pretty much it. So I'm not going to do any benchmarking of the PC because I think it's completely pointless. However, I will say I'm a little disappointed at how long it takes for it to unzip files. It looks like it does it at a speed of like 12 megabytes per second. Again, this could probably be BIOS support for the actual processor itself. There's no surefire thing to get the processor working 100% capacity with Windows. I don't know what the draw is there. Like I said, I thought these things were supposed to be like blazing fast. It's good for what it is. It's good for the money. I'll say that, and that's pretty much all I'll say. I haven't tried any kind of industrial applications like Premiere or anything like that, and I'm not going to. If it does basic window function and can run word processing when I go to install CAD on it, when I go to install this thing at where it's going, then my work here is done. That's all that needs to be done with this machine. So thanks for watching. If you guys have any questions, answer them down below in the comments. And if you were curious why I showed this thing over here, this is, I don't know like what year or anything. I haven't looked it up on Apple yet, but it's I guess it's a 21 or 24 inch MacBook, iMac, whatever. It's iMac. It's not a MacBook. I'm sorry. And they were gonna junk it. It's out of warranty, and apparently there's problems with the video card on it. So this is the video card. This right here, slotted into the motherboard somewhere back here. I'm just gonna pull it out and clean it. I don't really think there's any problems with this machine. I did pull the hard drive out because I have to destroy the data on it, and I'll just buy my own hard drive, no big deal. This booted up in the Windows okay. As you can see now, new machine, we got sound, baby. We got sound. This is the problem that we were having with the previous machine. Well, not the previous machine. It's the exact same machine. This machine, which is now closed up. Blammy. We got sound, so again, now for real, this time, thank you for watching. If you have any comments, leave them below. Subscribe. Let's go AMD, I'm pulling for you.